But the Gospel of John differs from the Synoptics. It says Jesus was by the river Jordan, and 2 disciples of John the Baptist, one being Andrew, followed after Jesus. Then Andrew brought Peter to meet Jesus. So the Synoptics say Jesus called them while they were fishing, and John says they met through John the Baptist. So do we have a contradiction? Well, not really. In fact, quite the opposite, because they actually cohere perfectly. The first thing to note is what the Synoptics say versus what John says. They are actually describing totally different incidents and fit quite well together. John is explaining when Peter and Andrew, and most likely John, first met Jesus, and the Synoptics are describing a later event after their initial introductions, when Jesus came to them again and called them to be his disciples. If you read John, he never says that Peter and Andrew became Jesus' disciples when John the Baptist introduced them. And then, if you read the accounts in the Synoptics, they only make sense if they already knew who Jesus was. Luke gives us the most details when Jesus called these 2 to be his disciples, and it says Jesus walked up to them and asked Peter if he could ride him out in his boat so that he could teach the people on the shore. And it would have been very unlikely that Peter or Andrew would have just let Jesus use their boat at time, which was their livelihood, if they did not already know who he was. So if you read the Synoptics, it makes sense if they already knew who Jesus was or had previously met him, and John's account fits right with this and gives us the backstory missing in the Gospels. As Martin Luther said, John's theme is not the calling of the apostles into office, it is their congenial association with Christ. John tells us when they first met Jesus, and the Synoptics tell us later on when Jesus decided to make them his disciples. Thus, this supposed contradiction can be resolved.